This is going to be my first video on my channel. I'm going to be showing you guys how to put 4th gen Laramie seats in your 3rd gen Cummins like I have behind me. It's really simple. There's a little amount of cutting that you have to do on each one of the back seat brackets. You have to re-drill some holes bigger for the bolts because they use smaller back seat bolts on the 4th gen seats than they did the 3rd gen seats. And then I will also be showing you guys how to wire the seats up so the power works in both sides. And yeah, let's get into it. Obviously, first, we're gonna have to get the old original seats out of the truck. I've already done that. It's really simple. You're gonna have one bolt here, one bolt here. You're gonna have a bolt here and here, and then that's it. This seat will pop out. You're gonna have 4 on the other side as well. That seat will pop out. The center console, it's attached to brackets that actually come down and mount to these 2 holes on each side. And once you have those 4 bolts out and those 4 bolts out, the center console will just pop right out with the rest of the bracketry that the seats are attached to. When we move to the back here, it's just about as simple. You have a bolt here, a bolt here, here and here, here and here, and then 2 on the other side. I believe it was this bolt right here. You have one of these seat belt things attached to it, so don't lose that or you won't have a back seat belt. Fortunately, I do not have to worry about having it because, as you can see, Dodge things, mine's messed up. So for the wiring on the seats, what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna come over here to this plug. The 3rd gen seats have 1 plug. The 4th gen seats have 3 or 4 plugs. I can't remember, I believe it's 3. But you're gonna come to the original plug of your wiring harness on your 3rd gen Cummins, and you're gonna see red and black. I have already pulled them out off camera just because it's kind of difficult. But you're gonna wanna take a flat pick or a straight pick or a flat blade screwdriver and poke it right up in these holes on top here on the side of the red clip. And you're gonna wanna push and pull on the wire as you're pushing the pick. And these will pop right out. You're gonna wanna be careful though, because these are live and you will get some sparks if you touch them together. Do not ask me how I know. So these are what they look like. They're just little clips, and believe it or not, these will actually clip straight into the prongs of the 4th gen seats, which are over there. I will head over there and show you where these 2 wires plug into and how to run power from the driver's seat to the passenger seat in order for you to have both of the seats working with power. Over here with the 4th gen seats, as you can see, lots going on here. Ton of stuff going on. This is the only thing you have to worry about. So you're gonna look for the black and the red going into this yellow plug. They should be opposite sides, one top, one bottom. So you're gonna have red is top left and black is bottom right, if you're looking at the clip like this. And those 2 prongs that I showed you in the truck will actually plug into right there, that top clip, little prong dealio, and then this bottom prong right here. You're gonna have red on top right, black on bottom right. Or sorry, top left is red, bottom right is black. And then what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna want to tap off of these and run a wire from the black and the red under your center console, that'll be right here, over to this plug, which is the only plug on this guy over here, minus the seatbelt plug. And on this one, it's a little bit different. You have red and black in the middle there. That red green, you don't want to mess with that one. You want to mess with solid red and solid black. And those are actually these 2 prongs there and there, if your clip is oriented like this. it's on the right side of the middle, and it's the two stacked on top of each other, are gonna be the ones that you wanna mess with. This red, I don't know if you can tell, but it's got a bit of a green stripe on it. You don't wanna mess with that one. Just this solid red and solid black. And once you run that wire from over there where you have the factory harness plugged into, under the console and plugged into there, both seats will have power and they will be working. So on the back here, to get the back seats in, they're a little bit bigger than the factory third gens. I have the short cab. There's two different names. I'm not sure what it's called, but I've got the smaller back seat version. So the only thing that you're gonna have to do to get these back seats to fit in is move this bracket right here. There's a little clip that'll slide into this that is on the back of the 4th gen seats. And factory, this clamp or whatever this is called, hanger, it is in this hole and that hole right there. That's where it's screwed into. I ended up having to take both of those out, and I had to put this one right here, and I had to self-tapper that one in right there. And the clip fits perfectly right on the end right there. And you don't have to worry about anything not being solid because you have those over there that clip in, and then this one over here clips in, and you're good to go. Now, I had subs in this, if you can't tell, and I had struggled a little bit to actually get the subs to fit down in because the 4th gen seat brackets, they actually stick out a little further, and my box had to sit right in here. So what I ended up having to do is cut the bracket, which I will come over and show you. Let me get this out of the way. As you can see, this bracket probably came out to here, factory. And what I ended up doing was taking a grinder and doing a 45-degree cut here, and then cutting it 90 degrees flush right here. And I could actually barely just squeeze my subs in and have them sit flat. I had to do that on both of the pieces that sat in the middle. So this piece down here, under there, I had to do the same thing. And then on this side, you will have to notch this about 3/4 of an inch to an inch in front of this hole here, 90 degrees, and then cut 90 degrees along this way, make a perfect 90. And that will make it to where you can actually put it in here and not rub on this guy right here, because this guy is actually elevated ever so slightly, and it will hit on the seat bracket, and it will allow you to not get them to fit properly. Another thing you have to do with these back seats is, if you can tell here, I had to drill these out a little bit bigger because on the 4th gens, they used smaller bolts, and on the 3rd gens, the bolts are bigger and thicker. So I had to grab a drill bit, hold the bolt up, make sure the drill bit was big enough, and I had to drill these guys out. That way the bolts would fit down through them. I had to do that on all 4 on each seat, and that allowed me to get them to fit in here. Another thing I noticed is that the seat belts aren't quite long enough. They fit about yay much out of the seat, and then you go to push them in, and they just fall down the crack of the seat, and you never see them again. Well, unless you lift the seat up and keep putting them back up, but it's kind of a pain. So I've seen some other guys on YouTube get longer ones of these bolts and put like a 2 to 3 inch spacer under them, like spacer stock. It's just round, you know, you can cut it to whatever length you want, and then they will mount this on there and have the long bolt go through and clamp it all down in order for them to have a couple more inches to where this is actually sitting outside of your seat and it doesn't, you know, pull down into the seat. So that is my experience with putting in these 4th gen seats into this 3rd gen. There really isn't anything. I don't think I'm forgetting anything else. But if you guys have any questions, I'm happy to answer them for you. If you need a video on what I'm talking about, wiring from the factory harness into the seats and then from the seats over to the passenger side seat, I can make a YouTube video on that, but it's pretty simple. If you can just look at it, you should be able to figure it out on your own. So yeah, if you guys got any questions about anything that I've said, if you'd like me to cover anything better, just leave a comment in the description and I will read it and either make a video about it or I'll get back to you. I know my filming isn't great. This is my first YouTube video, but I want to say thank you guys for watching, and I encourage you to hit that subscribe button because I've got some fun stuff planned with this channel. I just bought a 2003 LB7 Duramax, and it has 85,000 original miles on it, which I think is pretty rare and cool. So I'm going to be doing a little bit of a build on that. It's not going to be anything crazy or super fast because, you know, stuff costs a lot of money. But yeah, I've got some fun things planned. And if you want to see any more videos on the 3rd gen, let me know. I'm going to be undercoating it, cutting, buffing. I'm getting ready to sell it because I have my new truck and I no longer need my baby. So I am getting rid of her. Another thing I forgot to mention to you guys is I also have a 4th gen wheel in this guy. And if you would like a video on how I got that to work in the 3rd gen, I can make a video. You have to do some weird trimming with the clock spring in order for it to get in there, or your blinkers won't turn off and it'll steer like absolute garbage. It feels like it binds up and it doesn't feel good. So if you'd like to see a video on that, let me know. But thank you guys for watching. Please drop a like and hit that subscribe button.